seconds.
Now comes the part where we throw our heads back and laugh. Ready?
Ready!
And good evening, everyone. Welcome to Between Two Brians, because between the two of us, we ought to get all your creative problems solved. I'm Brian K. Morris, and this is...
I am Brian Rodman. Hello, everyone. It's wonderful to see you-ish today.
And we are gazing at you. Hey, pull those up a little, okay? You're embarrassing us. Anyway, we are here tonight with our bi-weekly show, and we're going to pack it with some information and some fun. We're going to talk about not just Kickstarters, but any creative endeavor. You know, what happens when that initial fire goes out of, excitation? How do you keep going so you can finish the damn thing? Well, we're going to tell you, because God knows we have both felt it, but we've got some people we got to thank first, and then we're going to, I do need to get this going here. Let's see, copy, this is perfect. You can see all the great preparation that goes into the show. I know you're feeling empathetic, people. But anyway, we've got a thing we want to post here real fast. And the thing is, thinking about one warning, we were both experiencing rainstorms right now. So it may become the Carl Witzman show before you know it. So anyway, you need Memoirs of an Angel, which is one of the things we'll be discussing tonight. You see the urgency in his eyes?
My God. Do it or perish. Not really.
That's right. You see, we give you a choice. It's like Almond Joy, nuts, no nuts, But anyway, you need Memoirs of an Angel, which is a brand new book written by this gentleman here, filled with illustrations by this gentleman right here. It is a chef's kiss of terror in the Lovecraftian sense. You're gonna dig it, and it's a successful campaign. Yes, tentacles, and God knows you folks like tentacles, you perverts, you. But anyway, it's a great book, and it's fully funded right now. It's the thing, but right now he's adding on more stretch goals. So if you want to get on board, get the first book that this man has written, and believe me, it's a beaut. It really is well done.
And Brian's only read like the very unedited version, so
I read
that. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, we dipped our toe into it. I cannot wait to dive into the full luxurious goodness that is the entire novel. But anyway, you need a copy of it, and there's still a couple weeks left. We will be discussing more about this later on, but definitely check out that link that we provide and get yourself a copy and help one of our own tonight. And I want to see the needle move on this thing tonight, too.
And so as of right now, sorry, Brad,
yes.
As of right now, we are at $5,785 with 113 backers. Earlier today, we had 114 backers, but somebody backed out. And we're going to talk about that as well.
Yes, we will.
That's a part of this dead zone and mess that is the middle of the Kickstarter campaign.
Yeah, exactly. So, we're going to see if we can't find something to keep you guys going. But one thing that will help you with those cold, lonely nights is a little bit of terror. Read right before bedtime and right during breakfast and everything. Yeah, it'll keep you warm.
Keeps you warm, and not because you're peeing yourself. That's a different kind of warmth that only lasts a couple seconds.
So we hear. But anyway,
and if it lasts longer than a couple seconds, see your doctor.
Exactly. Yeah. Some nights I'm a literal torrent. But anyway, check out that link there. Please, there are multiple levels where you can contribute support, and it's worth it. Check it out. All right. But we'll be talking more about that. But we still have people we've got to thank. And first and foremost, we got to thank our Patreon supporters. Now, Patreon, let's see. Let me get that off of the comments there before we move on, because otherwise we'll be staring at that all evening long. Not that that's a bad thing, but anyway, check out our Patreon supporters, and you can be one of them. Patreon is a monthly subscription service where you can directly support your favorite creators with an affordable monthly stipend, and these are the people who have signed up for my Patreon, and here are the people that have signed up for BRIANS. And with this, you get things like, in my case, you get a twice weekly blog, and some of the higher tiers, the only one tier does not get the weekly views of the first draft of the Terrors 2, the sequel to the best-selling book. Anyway, Brian, you want to talk about your Patreon promo?
Yeah. So what we're offering right now consistently, I am doing a blog a week right now. And this past week's was mostly just about how nervous I was about the campaign and just some inside thoughts where I'm a little vulnerable about, just leading up to the campaign, what it feels like to have all those worries dashed away. That was last week's blog. This week's blog is going to be a little bit different. But something that we have that's, I think, pretty special is you have every patron has access to the live Google Doc that has all the illustrations for Memoirs of an Angel, the Great Pilgrim illustrated novel. I'm actively working on all those illustrations, and I upload them to this file, and you can literally just peruse in there and check it out whenever you want. Which is a pretty cool thing. You get to see all the illustrations in live time as they're added to the file. And if you kind of pay attention to them and look at the order that they're put in, you can see that you maybe get a little bit of a peek into what the story looks like. So, yeah, a little behind the scenes action.
Yeah, that's good stuff there. And we both offer you something for your contributions, which we genuinely appreciate because it helps keep our businesses going. And it's a little bit of a shot in the arm to be reminded that you guys really do care. So please become one of our patrons. You can be Brian, Mr. Rodman's. I got to remember there are two of us here. I got to mention Mr. Rodman. His Patreon is at patreon.com/Brian Rodman, while mine is the same, except I put Brian K. Morris at the end. So we make it really, really easy for you guys to support the Rising Tide or Brian Rodman here. Who's Rising Tide himself. Yeah. So
if you know our names, you can get there.
There you go. There you go. And now I'm going to dominate the screen a little because we got to talk about a dear friend of ours, Jeffrey Hayes. Jeffrey Hayes and Plasmafire Graphics. On the look of your book matters to you, plasmafiregraphics.com. But what do these great books have in common aside from a story by me in all of them? And this one too, baby. Anyway, what they have is Jeffrey Hayes on the cover. In fact, on all sides. Jeffrey Hayes will provide not just stunning artwork for your cover front, but he'll also design the rest of the book with your cooperation. He is incredible. They say you can't judge a book by its cover. These are all fantastic books, and a couple of these have won Pulp Factory Awards because they are so awesome. Now, if you want to get Jeffrey Hayes to do these amazing things for you, then go to his the Plasmafire Graphics Kickstarter's on my head tonight, I guess. Anyway, the Facebook page for Plasmafire Graphics. Check out the samples there. Then go to plasmafiregraphics.com and then look at more samples and get in touch with Jeffrey about his independent creator friendly pricing. And he'll work with you. I'm currently working with him on the cover for the second Terrors book, and he is insightful. And I'm seeing the glorious results. And ooh la and la, it is great stuff. And if you want this award-winning illustrator to work for you, and he does not use AI, my friends, this is all raw talent here, and then you need to get a hold of Jeffrey Hayes at plasmafiregraphics.com. Plasmafire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you, because it definitely will matter to your readers. And he is one of the sponsors of this show, I'm glad to say. So check out the works that his work is in front of, and check out the work of Jeffrey Hayes. End of all the stuff we talk about. So anyway, and we now turn to the inevitable, the comments section of our show, which starts usually about 10 minutes before we get here, and we're going to see if we can do this all in one breath. No, anyway,
he said as he puffs in his inhaler.
Yeah. I know which one of us has a fighting chance, and I'm telling you right now, it ain't happening. But anyway, someone who is happening right now is the beloved Sarah Mwah. Sweetheart, I gotta write to you sometime. Evening, you Bryans are the highlight of our day. Well, sweetheart, you are the highlight of ours. So we're glad you're here. And Kelly Carlisle, under Kelly Austin, who has a couple of really good books out there and is getting more ready. Look out for Atomic Stories, which which will have a Mike Jimmy Lorsha De Bruin cover on it. That ought to be really, really sweet.
Nice.
Good evening, great Brians of great wisdom. Hi, friends. Hello to you, Kelly. Glad you're here. Everyone's saying hello, hello, hello. Hope you've been doing well, Sarah. So nice to see you here. We agree, and we agree that Carl, it's nice to see you too. I hope you're having a great night. Sarah says, I'm writing down quotes and affirmations from a self-care app a few of us use that I take screenshots of to write down later. That's cool. A good idea.
Yeah.
That's a super good idea. That's excellent. Yeah. Everybody's saying hello to each other. Carl, we're glad to have you here. And let's see. And we're doing well. Donna's probably lurking here already, waiting to spring and strike at any second. So anyway, yeah, we haven't seen him for a while either. And the anthology is heading to the formatter soon. Excellent. Excellent. Awesome. That's the comic stories there. Yeah, it is about time. Dawn Dulis, glad to see you here. Hey, Dawn's going to be showing up at QuadCon Peoria this weekend, this Saturday and Sunday at the Downtown Convention Center in Peoria, Illinois. I will be there with Michaela Jade and a lot of really great game designers and voice artists. Jim Cummings is one. I can't remember the lady's name that's going to be there, but go to quadcitiescon.com or check out my page, and we've got all the information you need to enjoy it fully. But Dawn will be there with us also, and Carl will be back in a few moments. We'll wait. We'll just have to. Okay. Yeah. I can't wait any longer. Anyway, because we got Donna Carly. Check her out on Lulu.com along with Carl Witzman. They've got some great books you need to own because they are great writers. Hello. Glad to see you here. And got delayed by 10 months, but it's in the final stages. Anything worth doing is worth waiting on. So everyone's saying hello, 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 hello. And Donna says, time to say, don't forget to like and share, folks. Definitely. That's right. Get the whips out. Sarah and Brian will be working in tandem here, taking turns when the wrists get tired. But anyway, if you enjoy any part of the show or plan to in the near future, please give us a like wherever you're watching it from. And please, if you have not already, please consider subscribing because it helps our reach in getting the messages out to different people. And we got a lot of stuff that people need to hear. So anyway, please check it out and like. Thank you, Carl Witzman. You rock totally. And hello, Donna. Glad to see you here as always. And Tommy Sharp, good to see you. Hope you're having a great night, my friend. And everyone's saying, hello, Carl. How are you? And hi, Brian Squared. We are square as can be. We are not hep at all. But anyway, here's a friendly reminder that you need Memoirs of an Angel. So check out that campaign we're going to be talking about in just a few minutes. And yes, I seem to get bored with projects, stop for a while, and then I get fired back up and finish things. Now, that's the thing. Some people can't. Some people don't know how. We hope we can help you with that. And say, what, Carl Witzman? Nothing, Carl. We didn't say a thing.
No, you didn't see anything. Don't worry.
Yes, this is not the thunderstorm you're looking for. And I'm on burnout for good topics, Sarah. Well, see, we know what you need, and we're here to help. And when I'm delayed on projects, says Kelly Carlisle, first I knock all my books off my shelf and call you BKM. Yeah, I think it's in that order. That's why she's constantly picking things off the floor. Then I'm back to a calming zen moment. Writer's block is another thing. I vacillate between saying that writer's block. I think I've come to the conclusion writer's block is a thing. But I think
it is. Yeah.
I don't think it's quite the crippler that many make it out to be. In fact, I think a number of people use it as an excuse, and I will term it as an excuse to not get busy. But anyway, that's just me. And if you can change my mind, go for it. And a deadline can help. Yeah, I found having a deadline, facing a deadline with some sort of penalty to yourself.
Yeah, I would say deadline with real accountability.
Yeah.
Honestly. Yeah, because I've tried to instill my own deadlines before, and while I'm surprisingly self-disciplined when it comes to that stuff, a lot of times, sometimes it just doesn't work because there's no real accountability. And I don't know. For me, I have to have my wife, who is my business partner, is a great accountability. So just someone that's hey, you said you were going to get this done next week. How are you? That's perfect. That's all I need.
Yeah, you say that, I'm hearing Cookie's voice. So I understand. We have a similar arrangement in this household. But yeah, deadline can help. And what I said about like Brian said about accountability, and I said about some sort of way to. I'm not talking about self-flagellation or anything, but I'm talking about, something to remind you of the importance of setting that deadline, setting goals, and meeting those benchmarks. But by the same token, give yourself a reward when you make them. It doesn't have to be huge. It could be like, I'm going to buy myself a 99-cent ebook today.
Chocolate.
Oh, chocolate always helps. Yes. And Carl, I have been known to display a reactionary anger at times. Stay tuned for my shocked expression. Hope you enjoyed that. Anyway, yeah.
Riveting.
I know it was. That's what we used to call good TV back in PBS. And it's good just to be among great people. Sarah, you help make us great. We're so glad to have you here. We love having you in our audience. And when I have writer's block, my boyfriend finds an excuse to have an emergency. Wow. Holy crap. It's like,
learn to read the room, and if it's a bad read, leave.
Yeah, I think your boyfriend's got the right. Yeah, holy cow. And Carl Wilson says, Kelly, I bet he's got a bug out bag near the door for the moment he hears the books hit the floor. Yeah. And he knows that he's not needed to, you're probably, you hear then the clack, and the familiar keys, they go BKM, BKM, BKM. So not that I'm complaining. I'm glad to help. And from Odessa Small Press Publisher, hi, hello, Jody McPhee. How are you, my friend? Check him out Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern with comic book Spectrum. Yeah, I blanked out on the name of the show. And
Comic Book Spectrum.
Who's the guy who created that hard name anyway? But anyway, check out that great show on comics and comic reviews and pop culture. And also check out From the Desk from Small Press Publisher, 10 p.m. Saturday nights, when Joe will talk to you about collecting and creating all kinds of cool things. And speaking of cool things, there's the independent creator directly. Joe, how are you tonight? Glad to have you here. Everyone's saying hello. And he runs from the tornado, Carl. Well, it's better than that than running into it, that's for sure. And Carl says, I need another Joe or Brian, then I'll hold a full house. That's true. He could do gin rummy at any second now. If we get another Joe or another Brian in here,
That's true.
Yeah, and it's the B&B that people wishes they can stay at. There we go. And that's funny. Here in town, here in Lafayette, in West Lafayette, Indiana, we're having quite the argument right now about B&Bs. There's some people that want them banned.
Oh, yeah. That's a big thing right now. Yeah.
That's crazy. And anyway, texting me as best became. I'm still not back on Facebook. Not that I blame you. Or can email my first and last name at Outlook. Okay, cool. Yes, it has been forever, Sarah. And I need to get you out to some shows, that's for sure. And Busy Summer Me thinks, and I finished a short story this week with the Terrors, and I haven't figured out where to print it yet, but I'm working on that, and I'm starting another project. Jeffrey Hayes has been warned about all this. So anyway, he's my cover artist. And Carl, find 2 more Bryans or 2 more Joes and have 4 of a kind. There you go. Get the whole poker thing here. And Peoria Civic Center is going to be hopping. Yes, it is. Last year when we did it, it was almost nonstop from all hours of operation. And the promoter came up to me on Sunday morning and apologized because it was so slow. Like, oh, okay, make sure I'm here. But anyway, there's Carl is mocking Joe D with his laughter. And Kim Cox, hello, how are you, Kim? Glad to have you here. Everyone in the path of the storm, make sure your phones are plugged in. Stay safe out there. Definitely stay safe out there. You can always watch the rest of the show on the rerun if things go south on you.
Yeah, I've got the radar actually pulled up right now on my phone, just in case.
How are you doing?
We're okay. We're okay. We have a tornado watch, but most of it is around us. We have so much concrete in Louisville, it usually dissipates by the time it gets to us. Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. That sure makes sense. And from this Small Press Publisher, Carl, right now you have Nellie County Grammar banned because you have 2 pairs while stomping in your Air Force Ones. And everyone's saying hello to Kim. Kim, did you self-say self-flagellation? I'm derping. No, flagellation. Yes. Okay, for you I said it. Okay. Yes. I did do self-flagellation. That's where you kind of do that Dutch oven thing on yourself. At bedtime.
Hey, everybody loves their own brew.
That's true, and every fox smells his own hole. But anyway, Follow me for more wisdom. Anyway, for the Dad's Coast Walrus Publisher, being here makes me happy, especially after a few creator conversations that I have with another group that was stuck on representation and audience that is less than 5% of the market.
That sounds like an awful conversation.
That's that sounds like the sort of conversation I find myself in, where I start blocking people.
Yeah.
Especially since I wrote a certain book. So
I'm at the place where those are just the conversations I avoid altogether.
I'm learning. I'm slowly learning. But yeah, we're happy to have you here as always, Joe. We really are. And this sounds like something we need to talk about sometime, about the lesser lights that usually let their ignorance shine.
Indeed,
and we won't go political. We won't go political, because that could be like
honestly, I think you can very easily talk about like avoiding conversations and not get political, because I think we can all agree, no matter where you land online, it just seems like everybody's feelings are really amped up. Like, I feel like we can have very civil conversations when we disagree in person.
Yeah.
1,000 times more than we can online. I don't know. That's just my experience.
Well, I think I liken it to like the old days when you hear somebody said something you don't like, you pick up the phone book and you find out where they live, and then you drive down
tires.
And not that we advocate this sort of thing.
All the good old days.
I know, the good old days. I just go and punch them in the snoot. But anyway, John Dula says B&B across the street from us is no more. Long story, but I thought it was kind of cool. I liked the B&B. I stayed at like 2 or 3 of them. But COVID kind of put an end to that for me. Because at the time you couldn't be sure that they were taking all the precautions.
Yeah.
So I haven't stayed in one since then. Then I got Calgon, and it's
now you don't need one.
Yeah, I don't need one. And thank you, Sarah. Thank you very much. I'm very pleased with it. It made me very happy. And I might as well be a same first and last name, since I'm only the Sarah here so far, Sarah. But there is no one else like you, darling. And love the B&B. I stayed in Oxford for IndieCD.com. We almost bought property in Oxford, Indiana. That it was a nice place.
All I'm saying is I have my own personal feelings that are super, like, they don't make any sense. Don't listen to me. But after watching Barbarian, I'll never stay in an Airbnb ever.
I get it.
If you've watched the movie, you know why. So if you haven't watched the movie, go watch the movie, because it's surprisingly good. I was expecting some mediocre horror that just made me entertained. No, it was like profound. It was so well done. Yes.
Wow. And then stopped going to B&Bs. I get it.
Oh yeah, any horror movie that can make you make a life decision is a good horror movie.
yeah. Make sure nobody gets your parts after you die. No, exactly. Don't let the Romanians bite you in the neck.
Don't let anybody turn you into a walrus.
Yeah, and be careful with those Ouija. I've noticed I've been really careful with Ouija boards since I've read The Exorcist.
I just leave them in Target. That's all I know. Yeah. I say, oh look, the devil, and then I keep going.
There you go. And OMG, I've done that and more, but that's for another day. It sounded like flatulation. Oh, and I swear if I don't know the word you're saying, facepalm. And keyboard warriors abound. Yeah, and
right.
They should have their weapons taken away. And self-flagellation is whipping yourself for not putting a like on this video. That's right. That's when you get the tire chains out and start having at the back. So anyway.
Oh yeah, and then you start going in a line and snapping. That's when things get really serious, folks.
That's the hardcore version. And Sarah, now we could pronounce this any number of ways, like oh or oh. I like that last one more. Anyway,
it's more soothing, that's for sure.
It is. And like the movie The Albino, who's doing that in a movie years ago. Thank you, Carl. And Kelly Carlisle has a question. Writer's block I have often, sometimes not able to write something for a month or longer. Any suggestions? I'm an angry girl when I can't get that all important word out, angry. We'll touch this and then we'll get to our subject for the evening. But what's your cure, Brian?
Honestly, I thank my ADHD for this. I have like multiple stories going on in my head at once. So if I get stuck on one, I just run to the other one, or like right now I'm pretty much always writing notes on up to 20 books. I'm not kidding. It's a madhouse inside my head. And so what I do is I don't necessarily write if I'm having writer's block. I'll just write notes about another story that I'm really excited about. Or if none of that's working and none of that's jiving for me, I'll just go to my go-to inspiration stuff.
Mhm.
And usually in a combination of those things, I circle back around to the original project and I no longer have writer's block. I mean, that's worked for me for years now.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, what I did for a long time was I would either like let myself go fall into the rabbit hole, listen to music on YouTube, follow the
Yeah.
links, get interested in something else until that log jam in my head works itself out because there and I don't remember the psychiatric name for it, but it's like you offer the problem to your subconscious and the subconscious keeps working at it
Hmm.
while your conscious mind is doing something else and then the solution will come to you eventually. But what I do now is I just write anyway.
Huh?
Whether it's if it's if it's great, then I've pushed through. I allow my skill to get me through it. But let's say it's not 100% great. It still might be good once I edit it. There might be something I can pull from it and use
Yes.
someplace else.
That's what I was gonna say is if it's even if it doesn't fit with this story, it might work with another one.
Yeah, or worst case, it's all garbage. I'm no worse off than when I started. I just edit the whole thing out. See,
Okay.
but it got my mind back in gear. But what Carl said about deadlines often helps because, yeah, I don't want to poo-poo anyone who is doing this just as a hobby or just for their
Yeah.
own entertainment. But for somebody like myself, like Brian, we're professionals. This is a job. It's a great job, but it is still at the heart of it a job. And you know, I have never had a job where like retail or anything where I can just tell the boss, well, I don't feel like it today. I'm just not feeling it right now.
Yeah.
You do it anyway because it is a job.
Yeah.
And the process itself helps me work out of the block that I'm in.
Mhm.
So anyway, I hope that helps. If you've got any other suggestions, please leave them for Kelly. That might be a good subject one night for one of these escapades.
Yeah,
From the
for
Esco
sure.
Small Press Publisher, it was as much keyboard warriors. It was more like a lack of understanding the comic industry and why things from music industry does work in this medium. I can see that. I can see that. And if you're talking about things that work, from one medium to another, you have to change it because of the medium, the delivery system you're in.
Mhm.
Comics are paced differently than a movie, for instance.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, but at the heart of it, people just don't understand. Like with that big thing about Jim Lee a couple weeks ago.
Oh, where he was like $15,000 for a sketch or something like
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and then the massive fanboy butthurt that ensued.
I don't
Um,
understand why people cared about that so much. I was like,
yeah,
if you want one, save money. If you don't want one, then don't worry about it. I don't understand why that was even a big deal.
yeah, it's
I
like
swear I think it was just a big deal because people like making things a big deal.
yeah,
I really think that's where we're at now with pretty much everything. Is nothing really no one really has strong feelings about these topics.
mhm.
We just want to rage. And so that's what we're doing.
Yeah, and there's for many people that I see online, there is no difference in terms of hurt
Yeah.
between say a loved one dying and a TV show starting 20 seconds later than their VCR was set up for.
You're very right. It's
There
obnoxious. Yeah.
yeah, it's the same level of outrage for both of them when that outrage could be placed in more constructive ways, I feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, but basically, as people just don't understand, they have their own idea of how things should work. I was like, well, I don't know why Lamborghinis are so expensive. I want one, but
Yeah.
my McDonald's salary doesn't pay for it.
I think the biggest mistake, and I mean, hey, we've all benefited from this, but I still think one of the biggest mistakes we've ever made as a society is to give everyone a megaphone by by
Yeah,
by by doing this social media thing the way that we've done it. I don't know how else we could have done it, but I think it really amplified some negative things about our society.
I agree. I agree. But moving on with the comments, Carl says, right, Sarah's one of the Dan Brown books and movies. Yeah, that makes sense. And Michaela Jade is in the house. Girlfriend, I'm here. The party can now begin. Michaela is the party, let me tell you. Check out her books on Amazon. She is awesome. She is fabulous. And she's going to be showing up sometime on a clever title pending soon. We're gonna pick her brain about things. And also she will be... Oh, yes. I'll have that one. I'll have that brain. But anyway, but she will also be at the Peoria QuadCon this weekend. She's going to be there being awesome and lovely and bringing her books with her. And Sarah says, okay, I can't think of the title of that movie. And
Da Vinci Code. That's what that is.
Which one?
Da Vinci Code.
Right,
that's what she's referencing. Yeah.
There we go. But now I get it. All right. And Michaela said hello, or God said hello too. And with the representation arguments, headaches, some good points did come up, but people are going to be stuck in their own bias. Believe me, I'm finding that out with the terrors. And you hear voices too. I write multiple stories at a time too.
It's what gets me through. Honestly, I guess just my brain is prone to make worlds instead of like just singular stories. And so I do that also, and I understand not everybody can do this, and I respect that, but I also can escape into my drawing as well. So like if my writer's hat is starting to wear out a little bit, I'll just put my artist hat on and I'll have fun, and that usually helps me balance everything out.
Okay, and here we go. Kelly is going to provide something I think we all could try.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
you see it. Kelly said she was having sex to break the block, but my boyfriend and I decided that might not be a good reason for reasons mentioned before, which shall not be discussed. Moving on. And Carl is like, oops, maybe that's part of why they don't talk about it. But anyway, y'all thought I was going to buy that Ouija board that day at Target, didn't you?
I did, and I was like, Dawn, don't you freaking do it. Don't do it. It's a bad idea. It's a bad idea. I don't want somebody to write a story about you later.
Well, I would encourage her because I want to write that story. Anyway, Powers Are Dangerous says the why is Mr. Rodman. And I got reader's block, so I have a few books going at the same time. Same with how I write. Gives me a literal migraine. I scratched some of the things I've written, but yes, you got it right. Oh, you got to get that one, though.
Sarah, I do the same thing. It's my ADHD, though. I read like 12 books at a time. And like I do that to keep my brain stimulated. If I'm reading one and I'm like, losing interest, I put that down, I pick up another one. And I have about 12 that I do at the same time in a cycle. And eventually I finish one and then it rolls off.
Well, I'm gonna show you here. I've gotten into a pattern where I read 2 books at once. One's on my Kindle, one is on my in real life. Here's what I'm reading on my Kindle.
Nice.
By Will Murray.
Very nice.
Yes. And I am currently reading with a real book, The Best-Selling Author Next Door by Skye Warren, which I picked up on a Kickstarter
I was going to say, I've not heard of that one before.
Yeah, I just now started reading it. And of course, she said that one of the things that was messing her up is something I'm experiencing right now, which is sleep deprivation. Because we're having, if you read my blog that posted like about 2 hours ago, I'm having a week. So anyway.
Oh no, I have to read that. I didn't. This is the current book that I'm really. I am so close to the end.
Oh, that's great.
I have this much more to go, and that's it.
That's
I have less than 100 pages to go, and then I go on to the next Dark Tower book.
Oh, nice.
So,
excellent. So anyway, just varying it up, having one on Kindle, one to hold in my hand, and one will be nonfiction, the other one will be fiction. That's how I keep things fresh.
That's similar to what I do as well.
Yeah, so we're all good here. There's our solution for you. And Kelly Carlisle says, I write multiple books. What if I have a block on all of them? I'm designing my covers, etc. I step away, but I'm drawn back to the computer. I'd say if you're drawn back to the computer, there's a reason. Let the words flow. Don't be afraid to cut them later, maybe. So,
yeah, I think that's probably the best in this situation. I really think that just pushing forward is the answer.
Yeah, you lose nothing by it, and like I said, you're not married to any of the words, so easy enough to cut if they don't apply at all. And Michaela J says, writing a contract with yourself, the excellent idea. It serves 2 purposes. It covers you legally if you should need it, and 2, it gives you a deadline to work toward. Deadlines are not set in stone, but they make it official. That's great advice, and that's very helpful advice. So, and check Michaela out on her website and on Facebook. She is amazing. And I think right now for Sarah, she says, I need to get into a different environment. Well, we can talk about that. I bet that has something to do with it. I love that you guys get me thinking my way out of some things. Well, that's what we're here to do, darling. And Jim Lee, $15,000. I should have been an artist. My stick figures sell great for half a penny. You're getting more for yours than I am for mine, believe me. And I will have my dragons. Come get pictures with her and her dragons. She's got all kinds of things you get pictures with. But anyway, from That's a Small Press Publisher, writer's block only occurs when your creative and inspirational outlets gets cut off or minimized. For me, I try to keep things as reads, tutorials, movies, etc. That stirs my drive to write. Very good. Very good. That's great. And with Joe there, we have caught up with the comments. Thank you. And keep them coming. Keep them coming, friends. And especially once we get started, you'll see what we're up to. And we hope that you'll come up with some great questions for us. I think we can handle this right now. Now, Brian is still at 113, I believe. 113 with $5,785 from his $5,500 goal, which is, congratulations, brother. That is fantastic. And that is like record time, if I remember right.
Yeah, this is our most successful campaign. Not only is this the most money we've ever raised towards a campaign, I mean, literally, we got that. We hit that within 8 days of any campaign we've ever had. But we're hitting milestones before we've ever hit them before. I mean, we're already at 113 backers. I mean, we're 2 weeks in. We've never had this many 2 weeks in before. So yeah, it's interesting. It's very interesting how well this campaign is going.
That's great. And you were telling me, I think before the show started, that you've only had like a couple of days where the needle hasn't moved at all.
Yes. So we usually in the past, mostly because we're dealing with comics and we set a very realistic goal. Our goals have been $2,000 to $2,500, $3,000 one time or something, and we hit that relatively quickly. And then we immediately go into what's called the dead zone of a campaign where you get nothing. It's a desert for like 3 weeks, and in the last 48 hours it's nonstop again. And that's pretty normal. However, we have utilized strategies this time around that has actually prevented us from really entering the dead zone and staying there. We have only been in the dead zone for 3 days, and that was over 4th of July weekend. So I mean that's obvious why that is. I mean, yesterday we got 2 backers. Today we got 2 backers. Yesterday we got 3 backers, I believe, and then today we got 2, and then 1 backed out. But but still, like, we're seeing movement still happening this far in, 2 weeks in already. Like, so we really haven't hit a consistent dead zone, and we have implemented some strategic things that I think has kept us alive much further into this campaign than previous ones.
That's amazing, and we hope that Brian can get 115 people before the end of the show tonight. So please, if you have not checked out, if you have not checked out the Kickstarter campaign, we will post it again later. Now, and that's something I think a lot of people, when they go into a crowdfunding campaign, I did one myself. I've helped on several others as an editor or just, being a cheerleader. And right now is almost inevitable where you're going to have what you call the desert days, where nothing happens. And when it happens for a week or more, you start to question your purpose. You start to question why you're doing this. And this also happens, I find, with a lot of people who start writing. And they're all fired up. They want to be a big time writer, like and anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yes. Come kiss the hem of my garment. But anyway, particularly the backside. But anyway, the idea is that, you have this fire when you start. And then somewhere along the way, you realize that there's a lot of work that goes into this.
Oh, yeah.
And that even when you type the end, you're not done. So, and that's why, I quote that one statistic I heard recently that 83% of everyone who says they want to be a writer start a project. Only 83% start the project.
Yeah.
And then of that, only 6% get halfway through it.
Hmm.
And that's that dead zone area. That's that
Yeah.
dead zone where you start questioning whether you had the chops to do it, whether this is worth doing. You start looking ahead and seeing nothing but roadblocks and problems. And that's inevitable.
Yeah.
And what we're here to tell you is that, it's in a lot of ways, I think it's easier for a crowdfunding campaign because you have set a deadline, you have set a goal, and you're going to reach that time deadline if nothing else.
Yeah.
Whether you're successful or not depends on what you're doing. And, Brian here has been doing some overtime, making sure that his message gets out. Whereas when I did mine, I think it was about 7 years ago or so, for the Ghostly Tales of Spencer Spook comic book, my partner Eric Hawkins and I, we hit a dead zone, and it lasted, I think, about 2 weeks, and that's demoralizing. Especially since we had not reached our goal yet, whereas you did.
Yeah. Yeah, that I think that is I still think the thing that I would say for any dead zone, going into a Kickstarter campaign, going into a book, any kind of project, your mindset is everything. Know from the get-go the reality of the situation you're entering. I think that will help you have the correct expectations. And that way, when things start to seemingly go sour, you don't panic and you don't think yourself a fraud. Because I remember in previous campaigns where we hadn't hit the goal, or we hit the goal, but we weren't getting as much traction as we normally did. I've had campaigns where we hit the goal and then nothing. So like we had like 25 backers that really stepped up and got us to the initial goal, and then nobody else stepped in for like a week. And I was like, oh my gosh, do I not actually have readers? Do I just have really cool friends? Which is great. But like, is that like, I want to be a writer and I want to have a reader base. Do I actually have that? And that I panicked. I was just like, Robin was like calming me down the whole time. And then we ended up getting a good amount of folks backing the project. But but I think going into it, you have to know that there is going to be a lull season. In any kind of project, specifically in the Kickstarter project, you need to go into it expecting people to just back away from it for a little while for various reasons. And if you're writing a book, you have to prepare for the fact that you're going to get tired of doing this. Like you have to come up with things ahead of time while you're excited, while you have the energy, while you have your wherewithal about you, to implement some strategies to prepare yourself and to kind of rely on those things as the formula that you're going to work through for the next 30 days, 6 months, whatever. For example, from the Kickstarter standpoint, Robin and I have utilized BackerKit, which is a fulfillment assistance program. It also is now its own crowdfunding platform as well. It used to work in tandem with Kickstarter. It handled fulfillment, it handled emailing, surveys, all that stuff. And we have utilized BackerKit to schedule emails to all of our previous backers throughout this campaign. And we did that a month ago. And you can just schedule them, and they'll go out periodically. And we found ourselves over the weekend, we're like, we've entered the dead zone. And then an email went out Sunday afternoon. And by Monday afternoon, we had a backer. And it was a person that opened the BackerKit email. So like we helped ourselves out ahead of time. And so it got us out of this lull. And you can utilize strategies that are parallel to that, comparable, when you're just working on a book yourself, right? Like realize that, know yourself, be aware of how you work and when you get bored and all of these things, and ahead of time put something into place, a reminder on your phone, schedule a really inspiring event, something like that, that's going to jumpstart you back into your creative process when you know you're going to hit a lull or a block.
All right.
Yeah.
Very good. And and that's, I want to ask you a little more about BackerKit in a moment. But yeah, and the same thing can be used for any creative endeavor where, like with a book, I'm helped in that I'm a plotter. I outline, so I know what my next move is going to be. It's just a matter of putting forth the energy to tap into my training to get that next part written.
Yeah.
And I think that's where, that's where pantsers will have a little bit of problem. And even on something
that term's
like,
just really funny to me. Just
I know, me too.
People that run around and just take people's pants off. I don't know.
I'm over here anyway. But no, and back when I used to do that, one of the things I would do is outline the next phase. Not the whole thing, but just the next. Here's what I need to do to get me to where I think the next plot point is going to be. Here's the transition. I need to work on that. And I think that helps a lot. Now, and we'll get back to the comments in a moment, folks, but BackerKit, real quick. I have seen BackerKit since I got seriously involved with crowdfunding, either as a donator or as a creator or just as a cheerleader. And I always had thought that it was not for somebody who, and this is not meant as an insult, but somebody who is asking for $5,500. Whereas you can have somebody like a Karen Nicole or a Dirk Manning or a Brandon Sanderson, who is asking for far more than that. They're asking for 5 figures and not the low end of it either, and getting funded like that. Now, I can see them using BackerKit as a fulfillment service,
right?
Which but it sounds like that's no longer the case for BackerKit. That they're willing to take people with more modest goals, let's say.
Yeah, for sure.
True? Okay.
Yeah, so with that, like, what I think BackerKit's always been available like that. I think it originally started out for the big backers or the big campaigns like that. But we don't use it for fulfillment. Like, we don't utilize it to send out surveys or anything like that. We just utilize Kickstarter and do it ourselves. We don't have that many people yet.
Good choice.
Yes. But so we don't need that extra help that BackerKit offers, but we do need that extra help keeping track of emails, and it allows us to construct emails ourselves ahead of time, and then BackerKit collects all of our previous backers, and we would normally do this manually. I do this every campaign. I go through and I see who hasn't backed on this current campaign. I look back and see who has backed in the past, see, okay, you haven't done this yet. Let me message you really quick, remind you, whatever. Try not to be super obnoxious, but some people don't realize you have a campaign running. I can't tell you how many people have started a Kickstarter. They're in their final hours, and I first find out. Like, it happens that way. And there are people that I've backed their previous books. Or
some that'll have the campaign and you never hear about it, period.
I mean, Cindy Kep, for example, she had an entire campaign and I had no idea. So it just and she posted about it too. That's the crazy thing.
That's Facebook.
Yeah. And that's what BackerKit does. It allows us to get beyond social media, because I have a Wix newsletter email that goes out once a month, but I'm limited in how much I can send. With BackerKit, you can send, I mean, I think there's still a limit, but it's much more than I have through Wix. And so I can send out my newsletters, but BackerKit is also sending out emails as well. And that's just it's outside of social media. It's not controlled by an algorithm, and it really can at least it can remind people. It can get in front of people. If people don't want to back it, that's their choice. That's fine. But at least they're aware. That's what my job is. My job is to make sure you're aware that this is happening. And to remind you, because it's not a joke. I've experienced it on both ends. You have to show something to somebody like 50 times before they actually click on it. That's a statistic that is very real.
Yeah.
And that's why, if you're obnoxiously annoyed by my silly memes and stuff on Facebook right now that I post multiple times a day, I'm sorry, but I have to do that.
Yes.
We have to, because there are
Yes.
people who are not seeing it at all, and they
Mhm.
might see it the 100th time we post.
Yeah.
For the first time they're
Mhm.
seeing it then.
Yeah.
So it's so important. And but Backer Kit just allows you to have that extra way in.
Mhm. Now, what does backer now? Kickstarter, for instance, asks for approximately 8 to 10% of the goal of the money realized. Because they're the platform, they've got expenses. They took your credit cards. You didn't have to do any of that. What does Backer Kit ask for?
To my knowledge, and
Mhm.
I will be honest with you, thankfully I have a business partner who is my
Yeah.
wife.
I was going to say, this sounds like a Robin thing.
She handles this side of it. I'm
Uh-huh.
not sure. They don't take a fee out of um your ultimate,
Okay.
goal,
Right.
because you're not utilizing them in that way.
I see.
I think
Okay.
Backer Kit works on more of a membership type
Oh,
status.
okay. Okay. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
So I
Yeah.
don't think now, if you use them to crowdfund, that's a different story.
Hmm.
But that we're
Hmm.
not doing that. So we
Yeah.
have the option. They allow you to still utilize their services without having you,
Hmm.
use them to crowdfund your project, which I think is actually a really
I like that.
cool thing
I
that
like
this
that.
company is doing.
I
Yeah,
like
you
that.
don't have to exclusively use them to
Mhm.
use their benefits. I like that a lot.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Sarah said, or Kelly, brother, Kelly Carlisle has a question. How do you stay on the course and not hit a writer over the head when when they commit to your project, then give you unusable work or waste your time, thus causing delays on the project?
Woo!
And I know she's not asking for a friend. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, she's singing the blues and she knows all the notes.
I'll tell you this,
Um,
Kelly, I don't have the answer to this. There's
yeah,
a reason I don't collaborate very much, and
yeah.
that's it. I just I
And he
don't deal
collaborated
with
on that Eula McDonald story, and that guy's a jerk. So
that.
anyway.
Two people,
Two people.
both of them,
Well, the other
horrible
one's not
people.
a jerk.
Oh
Clyde
yeah,
Hall's
yeah.
not a jerk.
Clyde Hall is amazing. So yeah,
Clyde Hall's a marvel.
yeah.
But no,
I
and
put up with you because of the sex.
I understand. I understand.
Yeah.
That's why I'm trying to keep it fresh. But anyway, uh, but oh, by the way, I gotta say this.
Oh,
I
I'm glad
got
that
in.
spurred a memory. There we go.
Yeah, that's for a memory. Because you know how Facebook always says 3 years ago today.
Oh
This is
yeah,
the
yeah,
thing
yeah.
you posted. The choice today for me was the at Imaginarium 3 years ago with you and me
Yes.
hugging and with our feet up in the air.
Yes, I love that picture
That was a
so
great
much.
picture. That was a great picture.
Such a good picture. Yeah, it was me and my Kevin Smith cosplay.
Yeah, yeah, and me and my Gravity Falls cosplay, which
I
it
loved it.
was
It was
a
so
living
good. That
thing
was
for
a
me.
great weekend.
That was
Just
fantastic.
honestly, just to be able to hang out with the Nevermorians that were there.
Oh my
It was a
God,
ton of
yes.
fun. Yeah.
It was fantastic. I had a fantastic time with you and the guys and gals. But anyway, now now I answer this question knowing the answer. Uh, you keep on going anyway.
Yeah.
That's one thing. Or you can ask for, you can roll the dice and ask for, maybe if you're not certain that the contributor is going to come through, maybe you get a vibe that, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to use this. Maybe solicit one more story than you'll need.
Mm.
When I worked for Back Issue from Tomorrow's, working with editor Michael Urey, he told me that he pretty much booked the magazine, because you have only X number of pages to fill, but he would book the magazine with a certain number of pages, assign a page count to everyone, because that's how we got paid, and then expected at least 2 or 3 people to drop out. Because invariably, you would get somebody like me who figured out the system that you get paid for extra pages. And so I was doing sidebar stuff.
Yeah.
So I would write extra articles based, that I pulled from the interviews I did. And like I did one about Supergirl in the old Adventure comics losing her virginity. Things like that, and I could cite the moment because I had one of the writers involved in the discussion. So, the little things like that, or an article about somebody that somebody mentions as an influence or a friend or whatever, then do a little piece on them. And if somebody drops out, then they're covered. But, and I've gotten a number of anthology gigs simply because somebody crapped out.
Yeah.
And they know that I'm a hack and I can step into the breach and get that book out for them. So,
yeah. And if I may interrupt,
please.
to piggyback off of what you just said,
yeah,
I think the best way to deal with this problem is to use it essentially as, I use theater terms, use it as an audition.
Yeah.
To construct your team.
Mm-hmm.
You'll learn who's dependable and who's not, and then drop the people who aren't and move forward with the people who are.
Yeah.
And keep doing that. I mean, I think that's the only real way to do this. And like I said before, expect it ahead of time.
Yes.
Expect it. I don't want to say don't trust anybody, but I just want to say realize that there are people who are gonna just not do the work, or life situations are gonna happen and they're not gonna be able to produce.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And some people are just, their reach exceeds their grasp sometimes.
Very
but,
much
that's
so.
one of the reasons, and I will say this with the assuredness that this is true. That's why I'm kind of a go-to at Stormgate.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I'm about to become one with Atomic Press too. That
I've become one with Atomic Press, and I'm very thankful for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just simple. I mean, you realize, okay, I've asked this person 3 times to do 3 separate jobs. They've come through every single time. They've communicated well. They've produced decent work. They receive notes well. Just keep going after those people.
Yeah.
And there's your team. There's your go-to people. I mean, really. And then if you want to branch out, but use the same pattern, use the same, audition status.
Exactly. Very good. Yeah. Brian. Very good. And thank you, Kelly.
Very good to you, sir.
Oh, thank you, sir. I'm smoking a pen now.
I'm smoking an inhaler. So.
Hi, my name's Inhaler. Anyway, Brian Rodman, I stand behind this. Brian Rodman, what you've accomplished so far is fantastic. You should be proud of your Kickstarter.
Thank you. I am very proud of it. And I say this, I don't say this because I'm being, patronizing or anything like that. Right. Our backers are who make this happen. And I say that genuinely. I mean, really, that's the truth. If it weren't for our backers coming through the way that they do, we would not have anything produced. It wouldn't happen. And that's why I look at our backers as producers. That's why all of their names go in every book. That's why my patrons go in the front of the book with my dedications, because they are the ground, they're boots on the ground all the time. And it just, I really look at these folks as fellow creators in the way of, they brought this thing to life with me, and allowed me to have more readers come to further future projects. But yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm very proud of this. This is a great fun season. I'm excited, and I cannot wait to hold my first novel in my hands. I cannot wait.
I'm looking forward to that too.
I'm gonna cry. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Oh, I will tell you.
Let me tell you why.
I still ugly cry. I really do.
Well, let me tell you why it's gonna happen. Because the first time I had a comic in my hands that I created, well, actually the very first time, I was disappointed, which was sad. But it happens. But the first time that I had a comic in my hand that I made, that I was proud of, and I loved every panel of it, I cried. But I had already been doing comics, and I expected me to make a comic. I've never expected me to write a novel, ever. There you go. And so this is something that life just kind of dealt me a hand, and because of my determination and all of the people that have surrounded me to help me, we're making this happen. And I'm going to cry if I keep talking. So take it away.
Okay, then I'll take over. Then. Because I have no human soul, and I can work through things like that. So
let the void speak.
That's right. I am who you look into. Pray I don't work. And thank you, Jody McPhee. I appreciate that sincerely. BKM is an excellent crowdfunding cheerleader. I do what I can because, if nothing else, even if I can't contribute to every campaign because I've got to answer to somebody in the next room about my economics. Yeah, but the fact is, at least I can promote you guys as best I can. So I'm proud to do that. So thank you, Joe. I appreciate that sincerely. And Sarah says, I remember Luke Stone being concerned about his fulfillments while he was intubated with COVID, the Delta variant.
Was a beast during that time. Like,
yeah,
I am so. I mean, it's no secret. Luke Stone and I disagree on many things, but I will say this about Luke Stone: the dude never gave up. He's a phenomenal comic book creator, and man, I'm so glad he's still around.
Yeah,
I'm so thankful that he made it out of that. That most people don't make it out of those situations alive, and he did. And I'm so thankful that he did.
Yeah, him and Randy Zimmerman both. I should have brought Randy. Oh, did I bring? I have. Do I have it here? Yes.
You have Randy down there by your desk. Oh no!
It's even better.
Ooh, bring that. Do that full screen. I want to see that thing.
This is. I have been meaning to do like an unboxing and everything. This is the brand new book written by Randy Zimmerman, drawn by the incomparable Russ Leach.
That's so pretty.
Who's famous for Only Death Can Save Us. This is a story of a character that predates Conan the Barbarian. By the same creator, Robert E. Howard. This is King Kull of Atlantis.
Oh, that's so cool.
And one of the stories has fallen into public domain. Russ has done beautiful.
As usual. That dude's
as always, man. I expect nothing less from this guy. Fantastic storyteller, beautiful coloring. Love the paper even. It's
now, Brian, where can we get that?
It is available from Arrow Books.
Okay. On their website?
It should be. It should be. I don't know about this edition because this also. Oh, and this is something else like they're doing with the Sumerian on the newsstands.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
I do too. It's a beautiful package, and you also get some extra stuff from Russ in the back and Randy.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, was that on Kickstarter?
It was. It was on Luke's. It was on Luke's.
Oh, okay. Forum. Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's a beautiful book there, and I will say that you will see my name in it. I'm the consulting editor.
That's cool. All right.
Yeah, it was
now I have to get it. I have no choice.
See, there you go. Yeah. Buy it. But read it for us and Randy. Buy it for me.
My ongoing need to own all the BKM books that's ever been published.
There you go. Hey, I just did my creative resume. Don't pledge yourself to that quite yet.
Dude, I have most of your stuff.
You have most of them, yeah.
I know I don't have all of it, but I have most.
Yeah, I did my creative resume because I'm applying for membership in an Indiana writers organization, and they insisted on it.
Yeah.
And I have about four dozen things in print.
I'm not surprised. I'm honestly surprised you don't have more. Honestly,
I'm working on it.
Yeah, and no, that's not like a shot to you.
Oh no! I'm proud.
Like, no, I know how hard you work, and that's
pretty prolific.
Yeah.
And Carl Whitson said, "I've always said we are our own worst enemy." That's true. I go by the words of Walt Kelly and Pogo. We have met the enemy, and he is us.
Yes.
And Sarah says, "Touch and go or live and die, and fulfilling his orders on time." Whoa, that was insane for Luke Stone. I don't have words for us. Yeah, he's a total beast.
And I will say, his wife is a trooper as well.
No kidding.
His wife is just as much a part of that success as he is. Yeah.
Yeah, and I got to meet his daughter recently too.
Oh, cool. Nice.
And if you like Luke, you'll love her. If you like, the parents, the fruit does not fall from the creative tree. She is fantastic.
They're good people. The Stones are good.
They really are. I love those guys. I really do. Yeah. And from Destin Small Press Publisher, I have Dead Zone lasting 20 days. Oh my God, my heart.
Oh, I've had it, buddy. It sucks.
Oh yeah. You just have to be mindful that people maybe haven't heard or know you're live. It's not a reflection of your work. You need to understand the marketing of crowdfunding. Yes, exactly. Very good, Joe.
It's also not. It's not a reflection of you either.
No,
that's a big thing because I struggled with that at first. I don't anymore. But I struggled with that at first.
Yeah, so did I.
It does not reflect you as a person either.
Yeah, or as a creator.
Yeah.
It is just, it is just one more challenge to get around. And the problem is, especially now with crowdfunding or just getting the message out about any creative work, it's like just when you think you have anticipated the algorithms, they change again. I mean, like,
And
yeah.
go ahead.
No, I was going to say, because like when I first started 12 years ago full time, if Google had an update to their algorithms to prevent the black hats SEO people, the search optimization people that were putting in black hat code so that anything you search for winds up on their page, crowding out the real people that needed the message, which I'm seeing a lot now with AI. But anyway, they did like one update, and then like a couple months later they did another update, and they each had, both those updates had names. Now I've heard that Google does those updates 8 times a day, just trying to keep up with the bad guys that are trying to do the search engine optimization to benefit them to the exclusion of others. And Michaela J goes, "Ooh, mindset. There's a rabbit hole of info if you research it." Yeah, and the thing is, I keep getting requests to write a book on writing at my level.
I think you should. You're there.
Getting closer. I'm getting closer all the time. And I think mindset is very important. I think even I just recently read a book by Chris Fox, where he talked about mindset, but it was at the very end of the book. And I think you need to, like, once you get your feet, near the starting gate, you need to get your head in the game. Yeah. And you need to get that commitment in your head going that I'm going to start something. I am going to start something, and I'm going to finish it come hell or high water. It may take me 2 weeks to get this done. It may take me 16 years like Kenny Sills did, but he came out with an incredible book that is selling. It still sells like hotcakes. Yeah. Time like that is not a factor in it. But you're going to show patience. You're going to show respect for your craft, the people around you, and take on a whole lot of hats, but you're going to get the damn thing done. So, yeah. And Michaela, when we get you on, maybe that's one of the things we need to talk about when we get you on Clever Tile Pending one of these times. And Sarah goes, "A Rodman rabbit hole? Where did the rails go?" I think you just pulled them up, darling, and you're hiding them from us. Anyway, we love you, Sarah. And from this Small Press Publisher, that's why I love doing the one-panel shorts for primetime Saturday night. Give people a funny to remember back. Yeah, I like that, and I love those things. Those are great. And Dawn has hit the potion here. 7 doses of Miralax down. Sympathy for the next 36 hours will be appreciated, Dawn. And it turns out it's colonoscopy prep.
That's not fun, folks.
That's why I get the little tray that the DIY thing. I was there when Cookie got hers, and I'm like, okay, I've made all the right decisions in my life so far. Yeah, and
I'm lucky I don't have to deal with that for a couple more years. So,
wait till you get to be. Oh yeah, they've lowered the age on those now too.
I know. Not looking forward to that.
Yeah, and I said no, I'm not going to participate. So, and we'll be thinking of you, Dawn. Air watch over you. Yes, definitely. And good luck. Keep us posted, please. Carl Weston says, one of our friends had us bug him or her every day to write. It seemed to help and irritate them, so it was fun for us, too.
That's awesome. Yeah, honestly, that's what I was talking about earlier, though, with accountability. I mean, that's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
especially
true.
If you can have fun with it.
Yeah, there we go. And Carl says, now I just irritate Donna and Dawn about our game. Well, I can say that irritating people does yield results. How many sequels to the Madcaster Cheerleader did you get out, Carl? How many more would I like to read? Let's think about this for a moment. And Sarah goes, can you drop a Muncie with a backer app link? Ooh. That's interesting. You see what he's saying there, Brian? Or she's saying there, Brian?
Nope.
Muncie is a game that's kind of like geocaching.
Uh-huh.
Or the Pokemon game where you had the the various critters. Yeah. And Muncie is like that, except you can create your own. And I wonder if it would be possible to send, like a link to a project or a Kickstarter or whatever.
I don't know.
Sir,
That's
you
something to
may have
look
hit
into.
on
Yeah.
something really unique there. That is genius, my friend, my
Yeah.
darling.
I've not heard of Muncie. I've heard of course, what's it? The what is it?
Geocaching.
Yeah. I've done
Yeah.
that before. It's actually a lot of fun. It's a
Yeah,
lot of
was
fun
it
when
Pokemon Go? I think it was. It was hot
it
about
was
5-6 years ago.
Pokemon
Yeah.
Go was kind of like that, but
Yeah.
the geocaching are like actually it's like physical stuff that you go find. It's fun.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Jody McPhee says, Rodman, even worse, people who go and pull down the back flap of old timey underwear because people are doing things, quote, by the seat of their pants.
Hey man, don't pull underwear. That's all I have to
That's
say.
right. Or tug on Superman's cape.
Don't
Yep.
pull on underwear. Don't pull on Superman's underwear.
There we go. There we go. Well, it's easier because it's on the outside. And or you could do a writing problem. I
That
like
would be
that.
pretty cool. That would be pretty cool to
Yeah.
have a group story going. That would be fun.
That would be. I think about that sometimes, doing like a round robin kind of thing.
Yeah.
I simply wonder, says Sarah, if more promotions can go out that way, but I don't know about the rules of the game. Yeah, I don't either. That Carl would be the one to ask about Muncie. But Carl says Donna mentioned that Brian R changes his ads, not just the same thing over and over again. That helps.
I have
That helps.
seriously found. I think I shared him with the comic book spectrum guys, or maybe it was just with you, Brian. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I shared a bunch of the silly, stupid movie. The memes
Yes,
that I make.
those are lovely.
They're called Bookface. I just that's my character. He literally turns into all the movie characters, and it's my book cover on the face of a celebrity in a movie, and it's entertaining for me, and it's fun, and it makes people laugh, and I've gotten a lot of people react to them, and eventually end up at the Kickstarter page because of them. So have fun with your ads, folks. That's what I'm saying. Don't just post
they've been fun to read. They've been fun to read.
Make them fun to engage with, for sure.
Yeah. And speaking fun to engage with, there's Molly Daniels popping in at work to say hi. Mwah. Turn up the thing real loud because I am talking.
The void is spoken.
That's right. Yes. And Kelly says, friends, I have to run. I have 4 hours of writing to get done and an extra 2 hours after working on preliminary future books. Brian, Robin, keep me informed as you develop the Ace Anderson artwork.
Yes, ma'am. Will do.
Excellent. Excellent. Cool. And let's see. I'm seeing if... there we go. Okay, I'm marking some other things to be read. And let's go back a little to from this one, Small Press Publisher. So Kelly, dealing with Kelly's problem about wayward contributors, this is where you go to the backup plan and move on. Project is more important than that one person or their work, unless it's me. Figure out the best way to move forward despite the individual's work. Yeah, have a plan B in place, definitely. That's great advice. And Carl says, I have several magazine assignments because someone else could not do the work. Then I got more assignments. Yeah.
Same here with illustration work. I mean, I know I'm not the best. That's fine. I do my best, and I put in the work, and I make sure I meet my deadlines. And if I can't, I communicate it well. That's huge. People don't mind if you're a little late as long as you're communicating why and it's a legit reason. Don't just be lazy.
Yeah. And I had that one time, and I know I've told this story before, when I worked again for Back Issue Magazine doing articles for them. I needed 3 more days to get an article done because I had an interview that happened after the deadline, and I knew I'd be able to pull enough quotes out to finish, like within 48 hours at worst. So I wrote the editor, and I said, here's my situation. And he said, take another 3 months. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And he used to be, and Michael Urey used to be an editor at Comico, late lamented comic book company that did some amazing work. But the thing was, the first person he got, and I will not say the name, but if I were to tell you, he is one of the finest illustrators in comics. He is also one of the slowest.
Yeah.
Which is why this one person does mostly covers now, because he can't keep up with the monthly deadline. And Mike told me he was my first person to deal with as an editor. He said that's why there are deadlines and there are deadlines.
And I will even say this, and going off of that, if you're a creator and you're organizing an anthology or you're organizing something that involves collaborating with other people, give yourself a lot of time.
Yes.
Do not wait until the last minute, because that's going to blow up in your face real quick. Brian and I are collaborating on the next Cosmic Wheel book, the Eula McDowell, The Mysterious Adventures of Eula McDowell. Brian, when did you write that short story?
Year and a half ago.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like Clyde wrote his like not too far behind you. I did that to give us all plenty of time. I knew I
Yes.
could depend on you guys. That wasn't the question.
Yeah.
It was more just I wanted to know it was done and I didn't have to worry about it. And it was done. And I'll come in and button it up when we actually start working on the book. We aren't even working on the book yet, and their work is done. I do that because I want to make sure if anything comes up, I've got plenty of time to fix it.
Yeah.
No big deal. No big deal.
Or you can be distracted like me. 2 words, Doc Saga. Anyway, I own up to it. I own up to it, though. I own up to it.
Oh, goodness.
And I have the greatest collaborators on that book. I love each and every one of them, not only because they're crazy talented, but they've been so patient with me that, I will find a way to reward their patience in a tangible way. So, but we're joined now by Grant Lankard. Grant, we're always glad to see you and hoping your Kickstarter is doing well. Parallax Spectre, mwah, Unky Desk, the girls, glad to see you here, my sweet. And everybody saying hello, hello, hello. And Sarah says, careful with that laughing, Rodman Rabbit. You're coughing.
I got my asthma shot yesterday, so I'm okay.
There we go. We're not going to tell you where, though. I love hearing that laugh while the coughing brings out the mama bear. So anyway. And we're joined by the one, the only Rick Bulow. I look forward to getting the full set of Rodman memorabilia, all the comics, the novel, and all else.
And I'll say this: last time he threw a fit, understandable, because he's our international backer.
Right.
We figured
We're
it out.
glad you're.
Yeah, we figured it out. If any other, I don't think any international backers are currently watching, or international folks are currently watching. If you're watching this on the rerun, know that we'll work with you. We will customize your order with you to figure out. We'll get your address and we'll figure out what to do. That's what we did with Rick, and we can do that with anybody.
There we go.
And also, Rick, we very much appreciate you, sir. I love you.
Much.
Big kiss.
And I get to watch. And I appreciate you taking the time to be here, Rick. I really do. And Sarah, we appreciate you because she says that Brian has a nipple hat you need, Rick. Well, it's supposed to be Batman ears, but that's what it looks like on screen. Or at least that's what it looks like to her.
I don't know what's happening, but I'm here for it.
Yeah, I'm down for it, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I think I'm the one that's closer to one of those. And Luke and Zim were both intubated and extubated. Luke said the workers at the hospital it was their first time someone came out of that teaching himself how to breathe again. Yeah, and Randy had a prolonged convalescence too. He showed me a picture of him while he was intubated. It's nightmare fuel. It's nightmare fuel.
That's rough. That's
rough. I told him you do not have to show me that picture again, buddy.
I've worked like way back in the day, in the olden times when Brian wasn't around individual. This Brian, not that Brian.
Right.
I realized that could have been an insult. It was not. No, I used to be a CNA at the Children's Hospital here, and we had some kids who were intubated, and it's sad. It's sad to see. It's scary and it's sad. So yeah,
definitely. And Grant Lankard continues. I do kind of miss the glory days of the pandemic when it seemed like everybody had a show and we all got together and talked. Yeah. I was thinking about that the other day about the pandemic. That was my company. That was my best time. One of my best times ever.
Yeah.
Because we had nowhere to go, and when people, and a lot of people were putting down their pens, thinking, "Oh my God, how long is this going to last?" And I'm like picking up the pace, going, "I hope it lasts for a good long time," because I plan to cash in on it. But and I will say, in my case, Grant, a certain amount of burnout occurs.
Yeah,
when you broadcast, particularly as much as I have.
You were on the air every day, just about.
Every day for
multiple times a day.
Yeah,
it was too much.
It was too much, and right now it's catching up to me to a degree. Plus, I have a number of projects that I need to get done. So it's that's why some people that been with the blog on Patreon and on the newsletter know this, but I am doing this so I don't burn out completely.
Yeah.
Right now, my level is manageable, doing 1 or 2 shows a week.
And I will tell you, I'm very proud of you. because
Well,
I
thank you.
understand that is a hard thing to do as a
Well, you
creator.
would. Yeah,
Yeah,
you did
I
Dastardly
mean,
Dingoes for the longest time.
oh, and I loved it, and I hated to step down, but I had to, or I
Mhm.
would die. Like that's
Yeah, yeah.
and really, I mean, you do have to pace yourself, and that can be really, really hard. And
Mhm.
that's the hard part of self-care, when you have to self-discipline yourself in a way that makes your lifestyle healthy,
Mhm.
but takes some of the things that you love away from you.
Mhm.
That aren't bad at all. They're
Right.
good.
Oh, yeah.
You know? So, but anyway, I commend you for
Thank you.
noticing that and
Thank you.
taking action, because we want to
Thank you.
keep you around as long as possible.
I'd like to be around. There are a number of people I've yet to annoy. So,
Indeed.
yes, but also, you have to look at the returns you get too. And I was not seeing an uptick in viewership. In fact,
Hmm.
I have actually at one point, I had almost enough for monetization, but
Yeah.
people fall out. Some people are bots and they get swept out by the. And my numbers
Oh,
on YouTube have not significantly grown. Hello, Kitty.
hey,
Um,
Beasley.
Hi,
Say hi.
Beasley. Hi there, hon. But anyway, the numbers have not grown, so please like and share this message. It would be great for my ego. But
Indeed.
I miss him too, Grant. I miss him too. But
Yeah, and I
anyway,
will say this,
yes.
that was very much your efforts during that time
Mhm.
saved my sanity, and it brought me to this wonderful community. I didn't know any of you people until I stumbled
Yeah,
across Nevermind the Furthermore
yeah.
in
Now you know who to
2020.
blame.
I
So
love it. It's so wonderful.
I'm grateful for everyone here too. I really
Yeah.
am, and you in particular. And Sarah says, yes, he was having Luke's wife do various things to get those out, then taking care of two kiddos, trying to keep the home going while her hubs was touch and go trooper and true love. We
Yep.
do not do this alone.
No.
We could not do this alone. I admire anyone who thinks they can, but let's see. And let's see, here we go. And Carl says you can make QR codes to link to any web page. Something to think about. And I wonder what pages to Nevermorian links, backings like the ads within various QR codes, new venue. And Sarah goes, yes, Carl, that'd be something Muncie with the pun. Okay, I don't know much about the policies there either. And Dawn says, I had to wait to back memoirs until after the first. So some folks may have to wait until they get some green. And we all understand that.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't honestly, I'll tell you this, even for folks who intend to back and end
Yeah.
up either taking a long time or never do, hey, life happens. You can think you're going to be in one spot one day, and
Mm-hmm.
literally the next day you realize you're not in this financial spot anymore. And I understand.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's another thing. Again, not saying don't trust people, but know that even though people say they're going to back, they may not. They
Mm-hmm.
may forget, their life situation may change, or they may just change their mind,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So, and don't take that personally. Unless
No.
it's your mom or something, then you should probably take it personally.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll talk.
Yeah.
We'll discuss your mothers later. But anyway, uh, so and anyway, Rick Bulow says, Dawn, like me, still waiting payment on a commission so I can back. And
Yeah.
yes, Kamiko, the same publisher who did the Elementals and several versions of Robotech.
Yeah.
Also, the Maze Agency, a whole bunch of really, really terrific comic books, and a couple of the other editors went on to be part of the Vertigo line as well. So yeah, they put out some good work. Now, Carl
Oh,
clarifies the
Vertigo,
Muncie.
how I miss thee.
I do too. They still have Black Label, but it's
It's not
just
the
not as
same.
varied as.
Yeah.
Although Dan Jurgens just wrote, I think with Mike Norton drawing, a beautiful The Batman.
I did see that. That looks
It's
very interesting.
good. It
That looks
is
very
very
Oh,
pulp.
is it out?
Yeah, they just published the
Ooh.
trade paperback should be coming out within a month or two.
I
Yeah,
did not know.
seriously, heartiest
All right.
recommendation. Think of it as Detective number 26.
It looks
Okay?
amazing. I
It's a
saw the
beautiful
artwork.
book. It is a
Sweet.
beautiful book. And Carl says, no, Sarah, you could not do it through Muncie. You could just do a QR code for posters, and they'll talk about it off chat. And let's see, let's get back on the subject here. And Rick Buell says, of course, I threw a fit. I want as much Rodman as my life as I can. I understand that. And let's see if I can find some more. And thank you, Sarah. I want to thank you for that sincerely. And here we go. Now, Jody McPhee has a great question. How do you battle burnout? The whole thing is consistency. I haven't missed a Saturday yet, but that show is at a time when I usually wind down. I'm sure he didn't mean wine, but wind
Maybe
down.
he did. Maybe
Could
it's
be.
maybe it's supposed to be a double meaning.
That's right. His Freudian slip is showing. So, but really, but battling burnout, like me.
Yeah, I think what you just said, you're a great testament to battling this burnout. It's real, guys. It's so real. It can get you, and it can hurt you for years.
Even if it's something you enjoy.
Absolutely, especially if it's something you enjoy, because you don't really realize what it's doing to you until it's too late.
Exactly. Yeah. And Beasley liked this video, if only for Beasley.
She can't like it. She doesn't have thumbs.
Would you? I've got some in a bag here. We can get you hooked up.
Those are for other purposes, Brian. We talked about that.
Sorry, I know. Okay, I forgot. I got enthusiastic. And Michaela says it sure was a networking gold mine. I'm trying to get my shows back up and going as well. We have talked about her getting tidbits and scribbles back going.
Good, because I enjoyed the show.
Yeah, and we've also talked about, she and I, I've not made, this is not a secret. She and I do, this week's going to be an exception because we're both a little busy, but we do typing, writing sprints.
Yeah.
And we have gotten a phenomenal amount of work done. She can get like a couple thousand words done in less than an hour.
That's impressive. I can't do that.
Yeah, she's good with her hands. Anyway, and she's like, I hear her eyes rolling from over here. So love you, Michaela. And Molly goes, sorry about that. I was trying to agree with something, and I'm not sure if it was Sarah or Dawn. You can always, I find them both agreeable.
Yeah, just say yes, and it's fine.
Yeah. Just nod your head and look agreeable. Molly says, I'm in the same boat and have to wait until the paycheck allows me to send Brian Rodman funds.
And that's another thing.
Yes.
About Kickstarter.
Yes.
That can either help or harm you.
Yes.
They don't take the funds out of your bank account until the campaign is over. Some people don't know that. Some people do know that, but they still wait until they have the correct amount of funds, which is probably the responsible thing to do. That is not what I do. But yeah, like, so some people, if you know that you're going to have the funds before the deadline, they just go ahead and pledge. And then when the money comes in, they put it aside. Other people, they just want to wait until they have it, and then they can put it aside, which is probably the best option. But that's also another part of why a dead zone happens, is because you have a lot of people. I mean, this is a 30-day period. You have a lot of people who are waiting to make sure that they're going to be able to pay for this thing. Yeah. And then once they know, they back. Well, it might not all be, at the beginning. Some people it's not going to be till the very end. And some people like to do it. I know people who intentionally wait until the last 48 hours of a campaign to back, because they know it's going to go out of their bank account within the next 2 days. And it's not going to linger and float around in their bank account being, they're going to be tempted to use it, and then they won't have any money when it comes out. Right. That's responsible as well. So anyway, that's just something I wanted to say about Kickstarter in general.
Yeah. And then I do know of some people that will wait and make sure that a campaign won't fund, like they're miles away from it, but they pledge anyway.
Yeah.
Just that way they can go to the person, especially if they know the person doing it, say, well, I pledged.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
But I understand, because I, in addition to the vast sums of money I earn as an author, I slay me.
You silly goose.
I know. There I go again. I'm a dozenaire by now due to my writing. But now, I admit I am on Social Security, and tomorrow's the day. Tomorrow we go shopping. Because I already pledged. I already had the money in the bank for yours. So
there we go. Yeah. And I appreciate your pledge. Thank you very much.
I'm glad. I appreciate you doing this. So, and it's not the green room, BKM. Oh, wait a second. Now let's get official confirmation. Is this a green? Oh, I don't have that card here. I have a card.
I was going to say, could you make it the green room? Because that would be fun.
Yeah, it's on the other card. So anyway.
Oh man. Okay.
Oh, but let's see. Let me get copy. Okay, make sure we get that. And then we got, I think, one more comment. And oops, I hit the wrong button. What else is new? And Grant says, hey, if you guys haven't checked out Beowulf yet, please do. Let's see,
Ooh,
we'll make this official.
Fun fact.
Yes.
If you back his campaign and my campaign and show us proof, we will be drawing 2 prints for you.
Oh.
One is me drawing a character, probably Mooney, from Beowulf, and he'll be drawing one of my characters from Memoirs of an Angel. So yeah, that'll be fun.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I have pledged for Brian's. Grant, I plan to pledge for yours, and then I'll discuss with you two how to prove that I actually made it, because I'm a lying sack of crap. Anyway, that's why, or Cookie calls me a professional liar since I drew fiction. And I was hoping B-Rod would bring this up. See, we're helping.
There we go.
Yeah. So, and we have caught up with comments.
Fantastic. We've been on for about an hour and a half.
That's about.
I think this might be a good idea to close shop. What do you think?
Right. I think so too. Yeah. And first of all, before we get into the thank yous, I want to get the most important thank you. Here we go. Dawn Dulles is hoping for Mooney. Please draw Mooney, please, please.
You know what? Okay, Dawn, for you, it'll be Mooney. I'll draw Mooney. There we go. Making it official here.
There we go. Now here's someone we need. The beautiful and delightful Parallax Spectre says, I likes B-Rod and B-Fez. We likes you too.
Indeed.
Seriously, we do. We're glad you're here, Parallax. Thank you for being here, Leia. You're awesome.
Indeed, yes.
Yeah, and Sarah says, great show. I love you guys. Sarah, I love you too, or would kill for the chance to. We will talk soon. And Squee, and I'll see you this weekend, hopefully, Dawn, at QuadCon Peoria, Downtown Convention Center. Please come see us. We'll be there. So will Michaela. It's going to be a fantastic time. And speaking of fantastic time, if you want to do that, here's the people we want to thank for making shows like this possible. Our Patreon subscribers. Patreon it helps both of us, I think, keep our feet in the game here. These are people that every month send us a little bit of money through Patreon. That I don't mean little in that it's insignificant. Even $1 means the world to us. It really does. And here are my people. In return, they get a twice weekly blog, and some of them get even a third entry with the some of my advanced writings. So y'all need to check that out. And Brian, of course, does a weekly blog, right?
Absolutely. I do a weekly blog, and you will have a chance to check out all of the active illustrations as we put them in the Google Doc live. You have access to that Google Doc whenever you want to look at it, up until the publication of the book.
Excellent. And so we want to thank our Patreon subscribers, both Brian's and mine. If you're interested in finding out more, go to patreon.com, patreon.com, and then do a / and look for either Brian K. Morris, all lowercase, one word, or Brian Rodman, all lowercase, one word, as you see it right there. So check them out, all right? And also we want to thank Jeffrey Hayes and Plasma Fire Graphics. One, for making these beautiful covers that we are proud to show off here. And he is so wonderful to work with, so creative. He does the entire cover, not just the front, but the back, the spine, makes it look beautiful. He's an award winner. He's won an award for this illustration, and I'm proud to say for this one as well. And he's hard at work on the second cover. He just showed me the Cobalt Scarab.
Ooh. I'm jealous.
Yes. It is oohable. It really is. But anyway, if you want this kind of genius on the front of your book to help you sell this book, because people do judge a book by its cover, then go to the Kickstarter, or not Kickstarter. I've got Kickstarter on my mind tonight. To the Facebook page for Plasma Fire Graphics. Look at some of those great samples that he shows you. Then go over to plasmafiregraphics.com and then talk to him about his indie creator friendly pricing. You will be so glad to work with this guy. He is a freaking genius. He's one of the nicest humans on this planet. And that's Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you, because it definitely matters to your readers. And so in closing, we got a couple people. Let's see if they've got anything we want to hear. There's a difference. And everyone have a great evening. You too, Carl. Carl, thank you, and Donna, for being here. Check them out on lulu.com. They're great books and great shows always. Joe, thank you for everything. Thank you for your IndieCD.org. And check out this man here.
Just send my profile to him.
Yes, definitely
Yeah.
check out this man's got running a great service, and any creator needs to be on it. Molly Daniel says, looking forward to the rerun when I get home. We look forward to you watching us as well. And thank you for being here, Molly. And Donna, later to you, hon. Have a great night, sweetheart. And all of you have a great night. Don't forget, you can follow both of us, BrianRodman.com, RisingTide.pub. And we will probably be here in about 2 weeks, I'm hoping, with another episode. And if you guys and here we go. It's about time, Rodman. I say that having been nagged for months for dragging my feet. And you have one too. Dawn, good luck with your procedure. Seriously, we'll be thinking about you. And
have fun with your colon.
Yes. I was fighting hard not to say that.
Should be a bumper sticker.
Yeah. Next time Brian will make a comment, I'll be drinking out of this thing. But anyway, thank you for being here, each and every one of you. And if you're watching us on the rerun, please leave us a comment. We'd love to see it. Please like, share, and subscribe. It makes us very happy. And follow us on our Facebook pages, our various other social media pages.
From the bushes, either way.
Yeah, just right outside your bedroom window. Just ignore that ladder that's out there, and always come back in 2 weeks. We should have another wonderful show for you. And if you have any ideas for future shows, please don't hesitate to let one of us know. And your subject could be part of our evening. So let's see. Yeah, I saw that too. I keep singing the song from SNL, Colon Blow. Yeah, Cookie doesn't appreciate. We have breakfast. Every morning we have cold oatmeal for breakfast, like overnight oatmeal. No, it's actually really good. The way we make it, at least. And I don't think she really appreciates it when I call it Colon Blow. So. But she and I have vastly different senses of humor frequently. So anyway, folks, again, thank you all for being here. Thank you for being watching Between Two Brians. We hope we've solved a few problems for you. And if nothing else, we've entertained you. And we'll be back in 2 weeks with any luck, with more hilarity and more great information, mostly from you guys. And so on behalf of all of us, I say good night. And Brian will let you say your good night, then I'll take us out. How's that?
Well, everybody, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you. Have fun, be safe, and don't do drugs. And if you do, call us.
How dare you?
Frequently. Anyway, and as always, you know how I'm going to say goodbye to you. Thank you, folks, for being here. We appreciate you all. And stay smart. Stay smart. Got to remember word point. Stay smart. Unlike me. How many years have I been doing this crap? Anyway, stay smart, stay safe, wash your hands, and never apologize for being awesome. I'm sorry I'm not at the moment. But anyway, have a great night, and we'll see you in 2 weeks on another episode of Between Two Brians. Good night, everyone. Take care and be good.
Nia sex time.